Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Wow, we are moving right along. It is the eighth day of 2025. So, you know what eight is? Eight is the number of new beginnings. And so, I was thinking this morning, as I always do when I manage to get on here these days, but it was just like, okay, Lord, and I'm typing to get in, and I'm like, okay, what are we talking about today? And it just dropped in my spirit pressing past the obvious. Pressing past the obvious. Do you know so many of us live our lives in a place of mediocrity because we're so familiar with the things around us? We think that that is the norm and that it will always be that way. So it's like, well, obviously it's such and such and such, and obviously this is going to happen. All these obviously's. I told you last week, this is not the year for the surprise. Okay, so you're not going to be surprised because you're going to be in expectation. So the expectation is going to press you past what is obvious because God is not obvious all the time. God is always working and moving and doing, and He is so far from the norm that you cannot put Him in a obvious category. So if we are not going to be surprised, but we are going to be in awe of how God moves, then it is not going to be obvious to us that He is going to move in the manner that He does. All right? So we need to press and pass the obvious, the point of it's just obvious that this is the way it is. No, no, we are dealing this year in signs, wonders, and miracles because we believe. And that's what follows those that believe. And so that's the norm for us now. This is our new normal. This is why we won't be surprised, but we will be in awe of how God does it, how He brings it to pass. Whew, I'm almost ready to break down because there's some things that are happening and it wasn't obvious, and it was like not on my radar, but God was in the works, and He was moving, and He was doing, and He was producing. And I'm like, I'm not surprised, but I'm in awe because wow, this was not on my radar. Had no idea this would happen. All signs pointed against it, but God. And that's the position I want to see you in this year. So today is the eighth day of 2025. It's the day of new beginning. So whatever you were thinking the first 7 days of this year, that was then. We're starting afresh and anew today. And we're going to press past the obvious and walk into the supernatural. Because the natural is obvious, the supernatural is not. And you have to have a spiritual ear and a spiritual eye to hear and to see in the supernatural realm. So let's get past the obvious. Let's get into that place of consecration in God. Let's get into that place where we can clearly hear His voice. I don't care what's going on. I don't care what mess is around you. I don't care what mess you're in. God will still speak to you. Don't let nobody tell you that like God don't talk to a sinner. God don't hear a sinner's prayer. That's a lie from the pit of hell. I'm here to tell you because, whoo, He heard mine. Okay? And if you haven't gotten my book, get the book. Here, I actually have a copy of it. If you haven't gotten the book, get the book and read about it. He heard me in my mess. He will hear you and speak to you, even in the midst of your mess, to help propel you out of that mess. There had to be a way out, and the way was clearly through Him. So if He wouldn't speak to me in my mess, how the heck was I going to find the way out? Oh, Jesus. I get so angry when I hear the OG saints try and keep people in a box. Get out the box. Come out the obvious. Get away from the mediocrity. Get into the supernatural. Walking in that place of expectation, expecting the blessing, expecting to be in awe. Because you didn't expect him to do it that way, but you did expect him to do it. Okay? All right. I love you with the love of Christ. You can't do nothing about it. Because if he has loved me in my mess, I know he loves you in yours and even beyond. Okay? All right. Have an incredibly fantabulous day today in the Lord. All right? All right. God bless.